Hey guys, I'm going to put this one out. This is going to come out before, well, the one that's coming out right now. This one here might come out before. But I was going to show you this sign, and we see this a lot of times sitting over the top of stories about the Anunnaki and stuff like that. It's this guy flying around, looks like on the back of an eagle of some kind. But you just have to recognize this as the second kingdom in those four of the worlds. This is where it comes down to flight. This idea of the moon and people going up and down. This is flight. This is where the eagle comes in. All right, Scorpio. This is the Vimana. In Hindu religion, it's how you go from earth to heaven. All right, it's Jacob's ladder. How do you go from earth to heaven? It's Noah's covenant with the rainbow. It's the rainbow bridge from earth to heaven. All right, all of this. So what do you do to get from these places is the Kundalini. That's how all of these are about. You can say it was the UFOs for Ezekiel. You could say all these things, but it's about how do we get there? Where the hell is heaven? Well, it just happens to be the right side of your mind. It's not out in the sea. It's not out in the air, water, someplace out there. It's in here. This is it. This is the place. That's what it's all about. That's it. And how these stories work is, if this was Mercury, Mercury is Marduk would be like the person, the mind. Okay, that's number one. The consciousness, the boss. And his seed is the brother. That's the one that's the messenger. This would be the one that had the wings on it because he's flight. It has to do with flight. So this is how all these people can get mixed into one. That's how they get mixed up with Mercury, because Mercury is a messenger of the God. He comes in between. Abel is the messenger between God and his source, but he's killed by Cain. And then that causes all the trouble with the tilling of the land. He's banished for this. And he's put a big price on his head. That if you ever find out that you are this guy, you're supposed to kill him as soon as possible. And you get a nice reward for doing this. Okay? It's really cool. All right? But all these stories mean the same thing. So when you see this guy coming in the air, all right, it's really you. It's just another form of you as you are, taking aim with your bow and arrow. And, this is how all the stories, it's about being a great hunter. And you're doing it in the woods, doing it in you're letting the fox loose and you're chasing it through and you're going to catch it, And this is all these little stories playing out in real life, but actually mean what happens when you're on the inside. And so here we have these guys taking off, and this is known as the fairy. This is this idea, even the planet of the crossing that we just finished talking about, or that we will be talking about. It's like a fairy, and there's a place where it's like an arc, like you have to, it's a place of getting from here to Nibiru, or how to get to heaven, where all these people are. It's a passage place, and Jesus, he's this way that you have to use. In the Old Testament, it's God's. It's the rod of God is being called as our backbone. All right, the Kundalini energy of our skin and of our backbone. All right, the chrism. So you would see that all of this is about a ferryman, and even in these stories, it takes silver, and the silver is the lower mind. You're going to give them this. This is your for coming over here. This is our how we're going to pay for this, and the same way with when it comes down to Christopher. All right, so we get a play right off the bat with Christopher, the Christ bearer, Saint Christopher even, and that he's going to ferry him across, ferries people across this particular area to this promised land. You know, this area. He's working for God, and he's going to take them across. This is the ferryman, just like in the stories with Pluto. You're out at the furthest area, and then you have this little place. You got this guy. There's one of the moons of Pluto that is this ferryman, this place that you have to go. You got to pay before you can cross over to this other side. But all of this is about going across this water. And then when you do make it, you're sent up the river. You know, just really fun how we talk. All right, so I just wanted to get that in there real fast to show you that these flights, this business, you know, guy riding on the back of a chicken and stuff like that. You know, it's what happens on the inside, and they're just telling us how to use it, how to do it in symbolism. And all of these stories, they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. But people's imagination has taken them for all kinds of things. Absolutely. That's the folly. That's the folly. That's man's brain left all by itself. With father, that's what you get with father. All right. Get mother in there and she'll straighten everything out. All right. And do that as soon as possible. Okay. Chat with you soon. Hope you got something out of this.